Good morning, guys. My name is McKenna. I don't know what the date is, but it's not important today because this is not a vlog for once. Wow, that never happens. I feel like all I film anymore is vlogs. I'm gonna try to do this video in just one cut, so ignore the fact of all of my ums and likes and whatever other filler words that I use. I just don't, as I say, I just don't have time to edit. We're currently in Peoria right now for a wedding, and Shane is in the wedding, so he's out doing groomsmen stuff right now. I had a few minutes in the hotel to answer some questions that you guys have had. So most of you that are here because I have these two magnetic things attached to my head, and without them, I'm deaf. And so that's what I'm going to be answering questions about over the past 2 months with my last surgery. I did an in-depth vlog of my surgery and recovery, and there were tons of questions on those videos. And so I just picked out a few. I'm going to put the username of the person who asked them on the screen. That's the only editing I'm planning to do on this video. Fingers crossed. Anyways, let's just jump right into it. So I don't know how to say this username, so I'm just going to put it right there. Do I think the app is useful? They're referring to the app that can be used. You can download it on your phone to control the OSIAs, or I think any Cochlear implant has them. I can't use the app. I have a Google Pixel, and the Google Pixel is not compatible with the app. I believe the only phone type that you can use the app with is iPhone. So I don't use the app, so no, I don't find it useful. I do not have the ability to do edits or increase, decrease my volume. It just is what it is. So yeah, I don't find it useful. However, I can see all the benefits to having it, but I haven't struggled a lot with not having it. When I had my BAHA, my bone anchored hearing aid, which used to be on this side instead of this, I did have the app and was able to adjust the volume, and it definitely helped. But yeah, I don't have that option with this one. I do have this button. I do still have the 4 modes on it, so I can switch it to outside mode, music mode, and something else, but I literally never use them. I always just keep it at my base mode, and it works just fine. So if you have a Pixel or Android like me and they tell you the app's not going to be compatible, don't panic. You'll be just fine without it. Do I hear the annoying hair noises? Absolutely. All the time. Anytime my hair... I do a pretty good job of holding down some of my hair with the clip. I don't know if y'all can see that. But throughout the day, your hair still falls over it, and yeah, it's loud. It's like if you're doing karaoke and have a microphone and rub the microphone, that's what you hear. It is annoying, but it is what it is. It's worth it to be able to hear. I just, like I said, I got cut off, but like I said, to try to mediate it a little bit, I always make sure my hair is really flat when I put it on. I put it over my hair. The audiologist will always tell you to put it under your hair so there's less in between the magnet. I disagree with that, because if I do that, then I hear my hair more. So I always put it on top, and then I use the hair clip, and it does okay. If it's windy outside, or I'm hiking, or I'm being active, yeah, you hear it, and it sucks, but it's better than not hearing at all. So, any headaches or fatigue? When you first get it for the first time and get it activated, you're absolutely gonna have headaches and fatigue. It's kind of like sensory overload for the first little bit. Now that I've had implants for years now, and I've had both sides done for about 6 months now, and not even 3 months now, and I don't really get headaches anymore. What I will say is when I take one off, if one dies and the other is still good while I'm out and about and I don't have another battery, that will give me a headache, because now that I have to, I'm dependent on having both, because your body feels uneven if you don't have both. But just in general from wearing it, no. And I will say, if you're only getting one because you only need one, or you're only starting with one, you won't experience that. I had just one for years and I was totally fine. It only became an issue when I had to and my body got used to 2, and now when I only wear one, it gives me a headache. Hopefully that makes sense. Don't worry if you're only getting one and that's all you need. You're not going to get a headache from that, hopefully. I didn't. Their last question is, how do you manage the white noise? And to me, I'm interpreting this as the hair noise. So like I said, I talked about how I hide that a little bit. Otherwise, you shouldn't have a whole lot of white noise. Sometimes when the connection isn't great, I'll get some white noise, like fuzz, static sort of noises, and I just turn it off. I disconnect it. Sometimes I do part my hair to let it connect really good and it goes away. If you're constantly having like feedback, you should go back to your audiologist and get it adjusted, because that shouldn't be the case. However, I will say in the first week or two, if it's your first time hearing, first time having an implant, it's probably not white noise. You're probably hearing the air conditioning for the first time, or like other utility things, household things that you didn't realize made noise or vibrated, and now you're hearing them for the first time. But if you are getting a lot of like static and background, like white noise, filler noise, go back to your audiologist. They can adjust that. I believe they call it feedback in the audiologist's office, but yeah. All right, moving on to the next person's questions. Okay, so this implant, the implant that I have now is a lot larger than the implant I was using before. This is a picture of the OSIA implant, and this is the picture of the BAHA implant. The BAHA was literally just a screw, and now I have this like whole big implant in the back of my head. Their question pertaining to that was, does it make the side of my head look or feel misshapen? And yes, but not enough to care. Especially as someone with long hair, you really never see it or notice. I'm gonna try to show you guys though which side would be better. I don't know. Let's look at this side. Let's see. I might just have to insert a picture, but I'm gonna try. So I have a lot of hair. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this, but right here is the corner. This is like the bottom of the implant right here. And then this corner is the only part that's kind of irritating. I don't know if you saw any of that, but I will insert a picture if not. That corner is the only part that's irritating, because when you sleep or lay on that side, your ear is designed to compress into your head and kind of disappear, smush in. Now that there's a corner of metal right there, it doesn't really do that, and you like feel the metal when you lay on your side. That's the only like misshapen thing that really bothers me at all. You can see and feel the outline of the whole, there's like the circle, it goes down, and then it's like a rectangle. You can feel that whole like thing if I like try to trace the outside of it, but I mean it's not like drastically noticeable. When I wear my hair in a ponytail, people see my scars. I have a lot of scars, but they never notice the misshapenness or like the outline of the implant unless I point it out to them. So it's not as dramatic as I feel like it looks like it will be. And then OSIA versus BAHA was their like other question. This is hard because the BAHA was incredible too. It allowed me to hear for the first time in a decade. Like it has a soft spot in my heart, right? But I will say that the magnetic is significantly better than the snap-on. And my BAHA was, I think there are magnetic ones now, but at the time that I got it, they only had the snap-on one. And so my beef's not with the BAHA, my beef is with the implant type or method. I would not recommend the snap to anyone because it never fully heals, especially if you have long hair and you're brushing your hair. It's gonna pull it and like break open every time. It's gross, I'm sorry. I recommend going the magnetic route, even though it's a bigger implant, 100%. Now the difference between the actual OSIA versus BAHA as far as sound quality goes and like that, I don't honestly notice any difference at all. I would just go with what your doctor recommends. There might be a slight difference in, words are hard. And there might be a slight difference in like which you have to use because of your type of hearing loss, maybe. I'm not sure. I believe they're really similar though. But I don't know, trust your doctor there. Sound quality, no difference. But if you're deciding between a snap-on and a magnetic, go magnetic 100%. Even though it's a bigger implant, it's worth it. Alright, that was all of that person's questions. Now we're going on to Grace's questions. I know how to say that name. Is the OSIA uncomfortable during all-day use? I would say no. It does get annoying sometimes because so especially if you have both. When I only had one, I just knew not to like rest my head on this side, or if I'm laying on the couch, I would lay this way, you know? But now that I have both, it is kind of uncomfortable in that way because I always have to be conscious of how I'm sitting. I knock them off easily. That's why I wear the little hair clip, so then when it falls, it's fine. But, I mean, it's not uncomfortable. I don't feel them unless, like, if I sit here and think about it, I can feel them on the side of my head, but like on a day-to-day basis when I'm just hanging out, I don't notice them. They're not uncomfortable at all. And her other question that like goes with this was, does the magnet hurt, or does it start to hurt after a long day? And my audiologist warned me about this. I've had the OSIA on my other side for like a year and a half now, and I have a pretty strong magnet. I have a 3 on one side and a 4 on the other, and I have never had any pain from that. The magnet, I wish I could like show you guys. Like, I wish you guys could just come over here and like pull it off of my head, because I have my friends do that, because they all ask like how stuck is it, and it's not really stuck. Like, it falls off pretty easily. It's not like it's really pinching your skin or anything. You also can choose which magnet you want. So they normally start you out with a 3, and that's what I have on this side, and it was enough because this was the first implant I've had on this side, so the location was ideal and everything. On this side I did go up to a 4 because my old BAHA was on this side, so they had to slightly, you'll notice that like that one's a lot higher and this one is a little lower and further back. Like, you can see that one from the front. This one I have to like turn to show you, and that's because they didn't want to screw into the same place as the BAHA was screwed in, my old implant, so they had to do a different location on this side. And so I need a stronger magnet just because, I don't know, maybe there's more tissue, maybe, I don't know, I like having the stronger magnet on this side, but that's totally up to you. Like I said, they'll probably start you with a 3, they'll let you mess with it. It feels really weird at first, but it doesn't hurt at all. And if your magnet is like actually hurting after all day use, I would take that as a sign that you need to go down a magnet strength, you know? That's how I would look at it, at least. Any tips or advice? Stock up on batteries, because they're really hard to find in stores sometimes. I actually had an incident where I used my last battery at work, and my mom and I the next day, and I like have them in my purse, and I used the last one at work. I got home, I forgot to put a new pack of batteries in my purse. The next morning my mom and I went out thrifting. One of my ears died, as I mentioned. When one dies, that's a problem for me because I feel like uneven and it makes me dizzy, and like, yeah, it's not a good time. So we had to go on a hunt for my batteries so that way I could hear, and unfortunately we had to go to like 5-6 stores before we finally found a single pack of my batteries. So that is definitely a piece of advice, is to stock up. You can buy like 120 pack of the batteries. If they're like the 675 batteries, you can buy 120 pack on Amazon for like 60 or 70 bucks, and I do that like when I only had the one, I did it once a year and it lasted me. Not really a tip or advice, but something to know is the battery life on the OSIA only lasts for a day or 2. The battery life on my BAHA, the snap-on, lasted like a week or 2. So that's a drastic difference between the two, but it's still 100% worth it to have the magnet one, even though it goes through batteries, because I have hiccups, sorry. The screw is just not worth it. It never heals. It's miserable. I don't have any other tips or advice aside from advocate for yourself whenever you're first getting it activated in the audiologist's office, because they're going to ask you how it feels. What's the sound quality like? What's the magnet strength like? It's going to be overwhelming, but try to focus in on it and really give right answers. You'll have a follow-up a few weeks later, and you can always tweak things, but if you speak up for yourself in the first time, it's like, I think this sounds a little wrong. It's just nice that you can have it fixed up front rather than a few weeks later. My last person who left, well, there were a lot more comments on the video. I just picked out like 10 because I know I ramble and I wasn't going to be able to answer more than like 10. But Tay asked, what is surgery like, and is it fully under anesthesia? Absolutely fully under anesthesia. It is, I don't know if it's a major surgery, but like, it's big surgery. It's full surgery. Your incision goes, I can show you. I guess I could just put a picture up on my last one, but I'll try to just show you my scar. Your incision goes from all the way up here somewhere, down, and then back to, I'm trying to feel it, like there-ish. But I have a lot of scars, so you might be seeing overlap of like different surgeries that I've had. But I'll put a picture up of what this surgery's incision looked like. It's not bloody, it's just stitches. You'll be fine. I have a vlog on my channel, Tay. I don't know if you what video you commented this on because I didn't write it down. But I have a surgery vlog that I've recorded of my 4th surgery, my getting this BAHA activated. It's on my channel. I can maybe figure out how to link it, or I'll put the link in the description. How about that? And so you can watch that to see the full experience. Obviously, I'm not like vlogging surgery, but I mean, I vlog like the getting checked in, getting ready, and then I vlog after surgery. But yeah, I mean, they're gonna knock you out and you're gonna take a little nap, and then you're gonna wake up a couple hours later with an implant. Now, they don't activate the external component. You don't get this for like 4 to 6 weeks. You only get the inside part. So you're just miserable for a couple weeks, but it's worth it because you'll be able to hear. Anyways, hopefully this answered a couple of your guys' questions that have been left on the video. Feel free to ask more in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. I feel like there's not a lot of resources for those of us deaf people who are like getting these cochlear implants. There's resources on the Cochlear website, but I know when I was considering them, I didn't want the advertisement like information. You know, I wanted like real experience, like people to tell me how it was for them, and I couldn't find anyone. So I'm just trying to be that person for somebody else and help y'all out. I know I've had a few people who have emailed me questions before. My business email's in my description too. You're welcome to do that, or drop a comment down below and I'll respond to you there. Or maybe I'll make another video like this. But I am gonna go chill because I have a wedding to get ready for in a couple hours. See you next time.